Hello, I'm here at Cambridge University Botanic Garden. It's a bit of a treat. I'm here before the visitors arrive on a pretty chilly late November morning, and we're going to have a look and see what wildlife we can find here. I'm also going to be joined by my colleague Dr Chantal Helm, who works here at the garden, who's going to be telling us a little bit about some of the wildlife that it supports.
Well, welcome to the Botanic Garden on a very cold and chilly morning. We have recorded over 2,933 wildlife species here in the garden over the years through our many bioblitz and other experts coming to the garden. So we are a wildlife haven, we like to think so, and we try and keep areas wild like this one, which will help to support the wildlife in the garden. But not only these wild areas, we've got a lake and we've got open areas, we've got beds, we've got ponds, we've got a wide diversity of different habitats that can support all sorts of different species. This is a giant log pile. During the bioblitz, some keen entomologists were sifting through here, pulling out an amazing diversity of invertebrates and detritivores and all sorts. So we've got quite a lot of badger activity in the Botanic Garden, because we've got a large set around the lake, and in summertime, if you come around sunset, you can actually see a number of them emerging. And this is a latrine, which is a sign of them. They like to deposit their very gooey earthworm-filled droppings at this time of year in these little holes. And oftentimes it's used to mark boundaries between different clans. And if you stick a stick in them, it's a bit hard. It was pretty cold this morning, and I like to do this with students. And just smell. It's got a very distinctive smell of badger, so you can tell it's a badger poo. This wildlife camera is set up on a wildlife path that's running along the edge there. And last year some students were studying the muntjac population, but they caught foxes, badgers, muntjac and all the rest strolling along this path. Badgers can be very faithful to their paths, and often will form very distinct paths in the landscape.
Badgers aren't the only mammals to leave their mark in the Botanic Garden. Here are the footprints, or hoofprints, of a muntjac deer that's run through the beds.
This winter some students are going to be looking at all about trees in the garden. We've got 1,600 trees, when you get some decay in the tree and you get some holes like this one's got, and some crevices and broken branches, there's always potential for bats to be hibernating in there.
One mammal you're sure to see in the garden is a grey squirrel, scampering up tree trunks and performing acrobatics through the branches. They feed on seeds, nuts, pine cones, buds, and if you put out food for the birds, you may find they have a taste for that too. Squirrels are known for their caching behaviour, storing food in different places, usually underground, so that it is available to them throughout the winter. But they are not the only animals to do this. Here's a jay we spotted burying an acorn in the ground. Look carefully and you can see it bobbing up and down in the grass. And there it goes, flying away again. Jays are handsome birds with beautiful pale pink feathers, black and white tail, and a flash of blue on the wings. Speaking of colourful birds, here we have a female and rather extravagant male pheasant with his chestnut body and dark green head. Water is really important for supporting wildlife, and there is plenty in the Botanic Garden, from the formal fountain to the fen display showcasing our local wetland habitat, and of course the lake, complete with moorhens and mallards here. Like the pheasant, the male mallard, called a drake, has a striking green head, while the female is more camouflaged with speckled brown feathers. On land you can see the long bright green legs of the moorhen. A close look at their toes and you can see that they are not webbed like ducks. Instead, they have long toes that help to spread out their weight and keep them from sinking when walking on aquatic plants and in marshes. Not such a problem on the Botanic Garden lawns. Heron feet are similar, and their long legs are perfect for wading through shallow water. Here they'll often stand still as a statue, waiting for a fish to swim by, then strike quickly, catching its prey with its long beak. But this heron was just having a stroll around the garden. A heron in flight is an impressive sight. With fewer leaves on the trees, we could spy some of the smaller birds in the garden. Here's a robin loudly declaring its territory. A moment of tranquility at the start of the day.